Hey everybody, welcome back to War 2 of Season 26. I'm fighting for the Alliance SAS, and for this war, we're matched up against 4 Loki. We're fighting in Tier 1. Obviously, I think it goes without saying, 4 Loki represents a pretty cool challenge. When I saw that this matchup popped up, I gave myself a few minutes to kind of sit back and just appreciate where I'm at this point in the journey. Just approaching it with some gratitude. Then right after that, snap back into business mode. This is who we have. We have 7 fights here. Definitely a heavy war compared to the last one. Starting off on Path 6, we have a Nick Fury and a SASquatch. Hopping over to Node 23, where we're going to take down a Node 23 Black Widow Deadly Origins. Then we have a Weapon X on Path 8, followed by a Mole Man and Storm Pyramid X. And then we're ending off on Mini Boss Island, where we're taking on the Limber Elsa Bloodstone. This is who we're bringing in. I get to debut my newest rank 3, happens to be Archangel. He's at SIG level 20. He's going to do a lot of the heavy carrying, taking on 5 fights. Then we're bringing in Doom for the first time in war in what feels like forever. He's coming along. He's going to take on 2 fights. He's at rank 3. And we're bringing on Magneto, HoX. We're going to take advantage of all 3 pre-fights, all 3 for our own fights. He's going to come in handy for sure. Here's the first node. Node 3, Aggression Fury Strike Back. We have a rank 3 Nick Fury waiting here. Nick Fury in general stresses me out, so I really want to be careful with this one. The game plan, we're just going to turtle up as much as we can just to prevent him from throwing that SP1 and to push him to a special 2. We'll work a few reparries in just to maximize the amount of poisons we can inflict on him. And we just got to watch out for his second phase. We can punish his heavies. He doesn't have heavy hitter on this node. So yeah, here we go. Like I said before, I hate fighting Nick Fury, so I have a few invuln boosts in the overflow. Decide to use one here. Figured I can use one back to back here. Knowing that I have 7 fights this war, I don't want to get off to a rough start and just fall behind both in item usage and just rhythm-wise and confidence-wise. So we're getting a pretty good start here. He's over a bar power. We're holding our block just to kind of discourage him from throwing off that special. We get through his first phase without any trouble. Aggression Fury along with Nick Fury's just juiced up attack in his second phase. I know there's going to be a little bit of chip damage to take. I'm trying to minimize that as much as I can. I know all I have to do is get off a Neuro or 2 and just play the patient game. Which is exactly what we do. We have 1 Neuro, we have 2 poisons and 2 bleeds, throws his SP2, and we finish the fight. Just over 30 seconds. So that was a pretty good start to the war here. We're going right away, we're moving up, we're going to fight a rank 5 SASquatch. I wasn't too worried about this. I know my invulnerability boost still had a few seconds on it, so we're going to have that protection here. I just have to keep an eye on my neurotoxins, maybe keep an eye on Power Alternator. And just have to remember to dex the special 1 here. That's pretty much the biggest threat of fighting SASquatch on this node. So here we are. We're boosted pretty heavily, just because we were super worried about that Nick Fury. So I wasn't too worried. This is only a rank 5. This dude throws his heavy out of nowhere, which I wasn't ready for. Thankfully, I guess I got out of the way just in time. He's got a bar power. And my thumb froze or just slipped, and I ended up taking that one to the block, which stunned me. Thank goodness I had max points in Limber, 5 out of 5, just carried over from the defensive setup as well as the invulnerability boost. You'll notice I didn't punish or start a combo after a parry. I just wanted to take a breath, reassess all the timers on his end, just to make sure I wasn't going to compound my errors in the fight. Turned out that worked out all right. So 2 fights down, we have 5 to go. Shortly after, we were able to hop right over to Node 23. We have a Black Widow Deadly Origin. She's got Mixmaster, Aggression Prowess, and Power Focus 1. We're going to use our first guidance boost from Magneto, HoX. After she fires off her special 1, if she's running Limber at all, there is, I think, a window for her to evade and punish and place a shock, or whatever her evade mechanics do. So that was pretty much the biggest worry, and that's kind of countered by the guidance boost here. And apart from that, pretty straightforward fight. Wasn't really worried about this one. I've never really done it before, but just knowing the matchup on paper and how it should play out, there really wasn't much to worry about. apart from making a silly mistake and getting sloppy. There we go, we got 3 Neuros on her. My Archangel's at Sig 20, so I think each neurotoxin represents approximately 25% ability accuracy reduction. So if I'm ever trying to shoot for that 100%, gotta keep an eye and try and get 4 neurotoxins. But we are just over 30 seconds in the fight. She goes down. Just a handful of heavies, no sweat there. And we're going to hop over to the right side here in section 2, where we're fighting a Weapon X, Panaman Pete's Weapon X on Encroaching Stun, Stupefy, Power Reserve. I was super nervous for this fight when I saw the assignment sheet, and just talking with the leadership group. I've never taken this fight before. I've never fought Weapon X in war. I knew the game plan. Get as many Neuros up. Just keep an eye on his rage stacks. I fully clenched and sweaty this entire time. I think I spent 20 to 25 units dueling this guy, just getting ready for when he goes into berserk mode, just knowing his rhythm, being able to intercept. Definitely over prepared for this one. So here we go, I'm heading. We get a really good start there. We get 3 bleeds off of our first heavy. We're able to reparry, giving us 2 poisons. That's a really good look for us. He's at 3 neurotoxins. Able to get a 4th one here, so I know his ability accuracy is fully shut down here. We're able to get more than 4. Keep an eye on that encroaching stun timer. Fire off my special one, knowing that I just need to buy myself time and let the neurotoxins tick him down. And there we go. That's a 30-second fight. Really thankful we didn't have to get into the berserk mode. And we're moving on. We got 3 fights left. First Doom fight here. We have a rank 5 Mole Man. On buff and balance weakness, redouble determination. We're using our second guidance boost from White Magneto here, just so we can parry freely. That takes away the threat of us getting cornered and accidentally hitting his block, which probably just immediately would lead to a death. I'm really inexperienced with using Dr. Doom in general, apart from the vanilla basic Doom cycle. I've used that in Abyss and in Act 7 a little bit, but haven't really had the chance or experience to use him in war. So I tried to play it as simple as possible, just utilizing the special 1, which that game plan got derailed right away. As you can see, I'm already at a special 3, but he's almost halfway down, and we're 30 seconds into the fight. My health bar is looking pretty okay. I'm not too worried about Mole Man's animations. Both his special 1 and special 2 are fairly easy to get out of the way. The only thing I have to keep in mind is to just not touch his block. Just looking at the amount of monster mass he has, he's going to go into frenzy at some point. So I'm just going to play it real safe, real patient. No need to take any unnecessary risks here, especially since I have Doom for 1 more fight after. I'd rather not have to spend all the potions to top up here. So he hits frenzy. I think the next special he throws is probably going to be unblockable, so I just have to keep that in mind. We're almost at the red zone here. We probably could have thrown the special 3 and killed him. Just wasn't sure. Didn't want to throw it and not kill him and have Mole Man sit at like 2% health with the special 3 and then end up dying. So there he fires a special, we get out of the way, no issue. And I know that a few combos, there we go, 5 hits into a special 3 is most likely going to close up the fight. And I think that's the case here. He's at 13% health left. And there we go. 65 hits. Definitely a longer fight than an Archangel or a Mega Red fight, but that's all good. Moving on to No 44, buff and balance weakness, rich get richer. We have a rank 3 Storm Pyramid X here. And I have no idea what I'm doing here. I know the game plan on paper. I dueled a bunch. I know that I have to fire off my special 1. The biggest threat here is her prowess buffs, with how that interacts with both Rich Get Richer and the threat of her getting to her special 2. Knowing that if she has 6 prowesses, the next special she fires is going to be unblockable. So no matter what I do, I cannot let her get to her special 2 with 6 prowesses. I know that as a baseline. I know that there's some issue when fighting Storm Pyramid X when you fire off a special after a combo and that last hit of your combo glances. I know there's been issues of your special attacks being treated as it being glanced as well. And I think it happened a few times during my duels and I was a little bit sketched out. So the majority of the start of the fight is kind of just me scouting out the feel and the rhythm, just trying to figure out what each interaction is like. I'm really comfortable dexing her special 1. I know that that's not a threat at all, so I can take this real slowly. And just looking at her health bar, damage is pretty slow, just from the weaknesses that we're building up and also the amount of times that we're glancing. So we're about a minute in. We are maybe a fifth of the way there, but I don't feel threatened here. I don't feel like I'm in a position where I can get caught by surprise and slip up. The usage of the SP1 here, it's doing a good job of nullifying her prowesses, so I don't need to worry about getting caught with the special 2. So I'm going to speed it up here. There's nothing special that goes on. I honestly have no idea if I'm playing it right, and this fight is taking so long. That makes me think that I'm missing something in the game plan here. Regardless, I chose to stick with the rhythm. It felt comfortable at the time, even though it felt like we were in here forever. And I don't think I'm at the risk of timing out. I pushed her to a special 2 there. It wasn't intentional, but her prowess buffs weren't anywhere near close to 6, so I knew that I could just take that off the block. This is the last fight that I have to use Doom for, so I don't really care about the chip damage now. Just want to get through this fight cleanly. And we're approaching the red zone here. We're getting close to a point where I think I can finish her off with a special 2 or a special 3. But you can see there's a lot of just dancing around, baiting her special 1, getting some hits in, rinse and repeat. We're getting a few weakness debuffs. Unfortunately, we can't benefit from willpower here because we have the passive heal block. There we go. 140 hits in. We're at a special 3, and I'm pretty confident that throwing it here is going to kill her, which it does. And there we go. Pretty long fight. I was really glad to get through that cleanly without dropping to death there. And this is the last fight of our war on Node 55. The best defense 3, brute force, yada yada yada. Rank 3, also bloodstone here. We're using our last guidance boost from Magneto, HoX. The other key, I'm going to try and repair it just to maximize the amount of poisons I want to get in and get out. And just don't suck. This is a pretty straightforward fight. The only threat that I could see is being late to punish a combo ender or a special and having her parry, which would result in her evading. And I would most likely take a full combo to the face after that. Also hits really hard too, and I know that she's a rank 3 here. So I'm going to do everything I can, hopefully to mitigate or just avoid being in that scenario. Pretty solid start. We have a bunch of bleeds on her. RNG is treating us fairly well. She's going to fire off her special 1. That's alright. I'm going to go in with a 1 hit just to reset that brute force timer. She's halfway through. There's a mistake there. I assumed that I land the reparry, and I end up throwing a heavy into the air. Thankfully, I didn't get punished there, and it worked out for me. And just over 30 seconds into the fight, she's down. So there's our 7 fights. 5 of them were Archangel fights. Really glad that I was able to get through them all cleanly. Small errors, one in the SASquatch fight, and throwing that heavy out of nowhere in the Elsa fight. That's all good. We got the job done, and we were actually able to pull out the win here. Our alliance across the board, we played really clean, and I think for Loki on the other side, they just had a tough run. The final score ended up being 12-4. So huge props to our leadership group for all the time they put in, setting us up for success. And that's a really cool start to the season. War 2 down. War 3 coming up. Catch you at the next war.